can come to. And with the land that we have, I'm giving us a place, a ranch, so we can come and be a part of. We can do a lot of retreats, so we can do things. So every more that's been, I have to be transparent before I get into the speaking, because I always have to give a little history and remind us that we have the keys to do whatever we want, long as we use our brain, our hippocampus to do it, and stop making excuses. Because a lot of us got more excuses than a Negro getting ready to go to jail. And all we do is make excuses and excuses. I don't have time for excuses. So Moors be hitting me up, and I have to be transparent because it is what it is. Oh, Noble, this, that, and the other, how much it costs for the class, and this, that, and the other. And I send Moors, I've been sending Moors the PDF and the syllabus for months and months and months. And people have been following me for months and months and years. And I say, if you're serious about what you're doing, you must prepare to do anything. But a lot of us, we will wait. Like, for instance, we don't prepare. We're not conscious of our finances. So a lot of us, instead of us preparing and taking a little chunk or a small percentage of our finances each time we get paid, when it's time to pay our bills monthly, we in panic mode because we try to take that check that we get right then and pay for everything. And you ain't prepared. And y'all know I'm telling the truth. So don't get mad at me when I'm transparent. And I tell Moors, you must prepare to do everything. You must prepare. You must prepare. If you want to stop spending money and stop wasting your money at lunch and all that, you must prepare. You must prepare your meals. You must food prep. You cannot be conscious of things. No disrespect, Noble. I don't share. I don't go live with people when I do my messages. It's no disrespect to nobody. I know people be asking to be in my videos, but it is what it is. I'm a teacher and a student. You know, a lot of Moors just want to speak, and no disrespect to you, I'm not here for that. No disrespect. I'm not here to debate. I'm not here to ask no questions. I'm not here to have a pissing contest. What I give, you can research it yourself, and if you don't want to accept it, so be it. I'm not for you. But my students can ask me any questions. You know, my students and my members can ask me questions. No disrespect. No disrespect. A lot of Moors just be wanting to jump in and ask questions. And I'm like, we're not building nothing. We just talking. And I don't have time to talk. I deal with solutions. So if brothers and sisters want to be part of what we're doing, we can. But me just talking to Moors and just having conversation, I don't have time to have general conversation. That ain't what I'm about. No disrespect to no one. Just like if you want legal counsel, you can't go sit down and talk to someone without being represented by them. I'm a professional, and I do things the right way. And I tell Moors, we'll go give our money and our finances to others. When you get in trouble, you can get ready to go get a court-appointed lawyer, but talk about you and more. So I keep it real. So like I was saying, with me, Moors and brothers that saying, and empresses that saying they be wanting to be students. And I say you can't be conscious if you're not conscious of your finances. Because I break things down mathematically and I divide. For instance, I've been telling Moors the $250 one-time initiation fee, that gets you all your books. And that gets your fez and your turban. And that gets you connected to the real vine. How can that be paid? All you have to do is pay $5 for 55 days. My brother James on here, I break this math down all the time. I say we can do it. We can do anything we want if we sit down with the right people and go over things. $5 for 55 days equals $250. The $100 monthly fee, that's $5 for 20 days. That's $100 easily. And it's tax exempt. We are building. I'm not here collecting funds to put it in my pocket. That ain't what this for. More say they want something, I'm providing something for this. I'm a real school, I'm a real body. So if Moors just want to piggyback and ask questions, I am not for you, because February 9th, all this is over. And I've been courting Moors for a long time. You know, I'm trying to bring us out of shallow grave. But a lot of Moors just make excuses, and that's okay. I'm just not for you, and that's all. It is what it is. But let me get my Moorish American prayer put down, because I break this down simply. And every Moor that be making excuses, I go on your page, I'm like, man, you making all excuses, but you on your page acting like you winning. So you confusing me. And that's what I be saying. I know where we serious at, where we spend our finances. I know where we serious at, where we spend our finances. Moors be like, oh, I got this, but I can't afford the monthly fee. Well, I say you can't afford. Well, this is not for you. Because when I break mathematics down, I'm looking on your page, I'm looking at you winning. If you can't afford $5 a day for 20 days, then I'm not for you. No disrespect, and I'm not telling the person what they can do with their finance. You can do whatever the hell you want with your money. It's yours. It's your money. You made it. But if you say you want something and you're trying to save yourself and your children, and you want to be a part of something, this is what it costs. And if this ain't for you, keep it pushing. Because we don't go to the stores and complain. We don't go in the mall when you go buy them ugly Air Force Ones. You don't go in there asking for no discount. You go in there and pay the whole hog with tax. You don't go to the mall and when you buy them ugly, them Gucci's and you don't go in there and ask for no, be like, well, man, I don't got the all tax. Can I give you discount? But we only do that to each other. We only do that to each other. We always want to deal with somebody. And I said, when you're dealing with a brother that's got a business and things, man, he putting love on it. This ain't mass produced. What I'm giving you is, I'm a teacher, a Buddha. Are your kids going to school for free? You think so? No, you're not. You paying for it. You paying for that public school. Are you going to college for free? You paying for it. And then you turn right around and call it pseudo academia. So if that's the case, your brother done been through the fire, and I'm giving you a platform, and I'm giving brothers to be educated through more science, knowledge, order, rhythm, astronomy, astrology, nature, and giving you something for a small fee that's not a burden, and we don't accept it, we operate in our lower self. We operate in our lower self because education, finances, and spirituality and nationality, that is all pertaining to us being free. Look, it's nothing new under the sun, y'all. Look, when my dad was in college, my dad went to college in University of South Florida. I used to have a conversation with my dad. One of his European Jewish professors told him that we are the only group of people that'll let the person step on your neck educate your babies. And you think the person that stepped on your neck gonna teach your baby something. You see? And then this is how we do. We'll post a picture of somebody that don't look like us, talk about, look what he telling us about ourselves. Like that's something, and your own brother been telling you who you are. That's what we do. Because we always look at other people as inferior or better than us. That white man heavy. Yeah. They be like, that white man heavy. He telling us about us. And I'll be like, man, you have no idea, man. Your own brother, your own sister been doing this. How can somebody going to tell you about you better than you? Don't y'all know the modern day sages and things are your scholars today? So let me get my benediction in our Morris prayer. We're going to jump right into this, man. So I hope you got your pencils and your papers. But see, this ain't for the lazy more, man. And this ain't for the piggyback more. This more science. And you must be willing to be a student. You must be willing to be a student. But see, we know what's important, everybody. Because right now they watching the football game. And Negroes going to be arguing over the football game and don't have no money attached to it. And so I know what's important to us. Nothing. So let's get this benediction in. So may the benediction of Allah be upon you and me always. And we all should strive to be a credit to Allah. Make haste to bestow the acts of love upon all our brothers and sisters. And we all should do our best to shun all evil. Remember, Moors, to take suckle of the breast of knowledge, of wisdom, fortitude, charity, love, and all standing, that we all might nourish the souls of all men, women, and children. Let the truth be thy shield in the manifest battles of falsehood. We got to understand that we need not, Moors, we need not pick the lock to the gates of paradise by means of petty or criminal theft, Moors. Why? For behold, the key to salvation already rests within our own hands, Moors. And yes, even though a portion of our nature is weakness, instability, inconsistency, there is still the greater part of our nature that is divine. May Allah, may Buddha, may Confucius, may Yahshua, whatever name you give him praise, because the prophet come in the voice of the people. But may that spirit that's within, may it guide you, may it preserve you, may it strengthen you, and give you everlasting peace, Moors. Our Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. Allah is my protector. Allah is my guide and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. For my Moors that say they nationalize through the temple and you operating out of pocket, stop flashing your cards at Europeans. Your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be a severe consequence. And a severe consequence is you going to jail. That's the severe consequence. Point blank. So what we gonna do today, man, when I be telling y'all, I have a real school for Moors. I'm national through the Moorish Science Temple of America, which everybody can. But I created a school of thought for we can learn. I ain't here for no religious dogma. I ain't here to debate no one. If you're not willing to be a student and learn, I'm not for you. I'm not finna be getting into no debate or no pissing contest with somebody that should be a student, knowing damn well they don't know what they talking about. I'm not finna don't waste your time and don't waste my time, because I'm not gonna respond to you. If you just want to ask questions, you might as well, just keep talking to yourself. Be honest with you. This ain't here for no debating. We don't debate. We educate. We learn. We build. We come up. This is Moorish science. This ain't no damn Moor debate. This is Moorish science, Moorish law. And it's only one law. It's only one science. Why you think my fez is black and my tassel 24 inches? This not no play with me. So what we're going to illuminate some of the Zodiac constitutions. I'm gonna illuminate some of the things, how marriage is done through the temple. And I'm going to give you a preview when I tell y'all I don't get caught up in all that mystic stuff and all those man-made names. I am the mystic. I am the Adept. I am the sage. I am the Sufi. It's nothing outside of myself. If you don't understand that, you operate in religious Islam. And you know better than anyone that's religion. You can't point the finger. And so I'm going to illuminate some of the clock of destiny, the originals. I'm going to illuminate some of the originals. Because, see, man, we have to be historic, and we got to stop playing with people. And if you have the keys to save your brothers, nothing is secret. It's sacred. But you must be willing to be a student, and you must be willing to learn. You must. This is what Moorish is about. Moorish representing who you are is wearing your fez and your turban at all times and claiming your nationality. But, man, you must know this science. You must covenant with the right adept. It's a must. It's a must, because we must walk in synchronicity. Research what synchronicity means. We must walk in unison. We must walk hand in hand. We must understand the analogy or the symbology of one body and many parts. It takes a whole functioning body to make up a full body. A whole body is not made up of all heads, all fingers, all toes. And you should want to be. You should play your position. If I'm the head, be the body. And be the best body you can be. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about, man. Is bringing families together, educating our kids, letting them know that they're not Negro, black, and colored, showing them all the writers that wrote about our history and our nationality, about Carter G. Wilson, about George G. James, the miseducation of the Negro and stolen legacy when our kids be joining them Greek fraternities and they calling themselves some Greek gods. You got to be crazy. This ain't no garbage. Nobody having no competition because you an old fool with a fez on talking garbage. I don't respect no old garbage. I don't. My mom and my dad told me, if wisdom is not exuding from an older person, you walk away from the fool. Just like when I was going to school, my mother told me when I was in elementary growing up, she said, if the way we brought you up goes against home, you do what brought up at home, and we'll deal with that later. We don't go outside of our teachings, man. You got to be crazy. And you going to let somebody tell you who you are. Talk about they heavy. So what we're going to talk about is the Zodiac laws. And I told you, I highlighted what the Zodiac Constitution consists of, the AA22214 number, when I'm telling you what that means in duality about the Zodiac Constitutions. And then also when class starts, I'm going to show y'all that the AA22 number in international law, it means when we nationalize, proclaim, declare, and have due process, and we have 30,000 Negro, blacks, and colors sign a petition, and we take it to the world courts, legally and lawfully. When I tell Moors, when I say proclaim, declare, and due process, what form is that? That's a form of expression, right, Mom?
What?
When you proclaim, declare, and have due process, that's a form of what? Verbal expression, right?
Right.
Now, watch this when I tell Moors, when you got to stop listening to people just because they say something right, and you can't fact check it with law, because a broken clock is right twice a day. Now, watch this. Proclaiming, declaring, and have due process is verbalizing it. When somebody asks you, what are you? Are you a Negro, black, and colored? No, for the record, Your Honor, I'm a Moorish American from Moroccan descent, but I'm from America, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now, here go another form. Somebody push some paper in front of you. Negro, black, Chinese, African American, circle one, Kari. or circle one brother, whatever your name is, and you're not on there, and you're not even in your higher self, but you're going to put, oh, I'm not on here, so you're going to put African American, or you're going to put Indian, or you're going to put other, or you're going to put, what you say, Mom? Hispanic. Or you're going to put Hispanic or whatever on there. That ain't who you are. Those are misnomers. What somebody did is put something in there and said, which one are you? You have self-identified of something that you're not even willingly. Nobody put a gun to your head and said, circle one of these. They said, where you out on here? And you should be like, well, I ain't on here. I need to self-identify. Because you just said you proclaiming it out of your mouth. So another way of self-identifying is what? Signature. And then what? All rights reserved next to it, legally and lawfully. So if I can be in court and I can self-identify, you telling me I can't write down who I am? Now let me break it down in law and power of attorney. What the hell you think a power of attorney is? I'm breaking things down in different formats so you can understand the right to do things, the right to self-proclaim, the right to have people over your estate, per se. Y'all ain't listening to me. Y'all ain't listening to me, man. You just playing. Ain't nobody, people talk about our prophet left for trust. Man, to be a trustee, it must be something to trust. And that's the person, that's finances, that's tangible. It ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. So how you a trustee talk about our prophet left for trust? And I'm trying to tell y'all, you to trust. I'll show y'all what's to trust, the old temple that's abandoned. Them Negroes lying to y'all. I read the letter that was sent to the county clerk over and over and over. How people be trying to lie, talk about some estate, talk about some 1010 number means something. You know? So we gonna dig. We gonna talk about the triple role of the Adapt chamber. I told y'all the 3 religious rights, right? The Fatimid, right? Those are members of the dynasty which ruled in parts of North Africa, Egypt, and Syria. Founded Cairo as its capital in 969. Then the Paraclete, that's in Christian theology, the Holy Spirits as the advocate or counselor. And then we got the Order of Jerusalem, or the Holy Speckler, or the Knights of the Holy Speckler, or the Roman Catholic Order of Knighthood under the protection of the Holy See. Islam, Empress, Islam. Oh, I might have sent somebody the wrong one. Oh well, cash out for something, but I'll get it right. Ah, girl, be quiet. That was my Empress. She always snapping on somebody. Whatever. Now, I'm going to give y'all something. Let me take this jacket off. All right. Because this is going to be real simple. What she say? I don't know. I might have did something wrong. But anyway, the Adapt chamber and questions. When I talk about the Islamic precepts, when I said this is not no al-Islam, I corrected that garbage once. But one of the Adapt chamber questions, and I want y'all to know this because I'm not going to hide nothing from us. I'm not going to hide nothing from my brothers and sisters. If I say I have the keys to fallen humanity, I'm going to give you the keys, but you must be willing to go through this. One of the Adapt questions, 337. The Adapt and Sheikh Study Guide, which I'm going to break down. A lot of people can have the manuscripts, but if you don't know how to activate it, like when a lot of Moors, when I be talking about your Kundalini, and I say your Kundalini is in a knot, you must know how to activate it. Just like when I be talking about the DMT, or your spirit molecule that's in the brain, and how a lot of Europeans use LSD and all those holistic drugs to activate the DMT. And I say we don't need that as adapts. That DMT is the spirit molecule that's in your brain. You must know how to activate it. You must know your wudu to do certain things. That's why I said what this Sufism, what this Tasawwuf is all about is operating in our higher self and connecting man and God as one. This is a synchronicity. But the Adapt and Sheikh Study Guide, what are the first lessons to be learned in the Adapt chamber? What are the first lessons to be learned in the Adapt chamber? And the first lessons are learned is to control our physical desires. We must control our physical desires. That's the first thing in the Adapt chamber. Our physical desires. We must control that. Of hate, slander, lewdness, murder, and theft. When we define the adapt chamber, remember those are two words, or those are compound words added together. Adapt and chamber. So adapt means a very proficient person, skilled. When I talk about aptitude, we have a particular aptitude. Or when I talk about savant, we have a particular savantness of ourselves. You know? What you say more? What about the herb of the Magi? Break that down, noble. Them roosters, Jamaicans. We break down the Magi. I got my Spirit of the Magi. Babe, can you give me talk of that Spirit of the Magi book? Is right there. Right. It's sitting over there. The Spirit of the Magi. We'll talk about that later, but I'm gonna show you something, noble. When I'm saying I'm an adept, I deal with all different people. So watch this. As an adept, you must be able to cross borders. So for instance, somebody say, oh, this is my teacher. This is my teacher. And all your teacher, and I'm going to use martial arts for instance. This is your teacher. And all your teacher know how to do is combat with hands. But your teacher don't know how to defend with his feet and know how to do certain kicks. So you will be limited. You will be limited because your teacher don't know how to do kicks. Myself, as a master teacher, as an adept, I'm going to respect my teacher for teaching me that combat. Then I got to have to go to another master to learn how to defend with my feet, because I must master all skills, because everyone is not sick in the same way, or everybody's not trying to defeat you in the same manifestation. You must be real versed in all the skills. That's what an adept is. Adept is where we don't adapt to any religious creed or any one style to where we miss the essence of all the rest. So when a person say, oh, I follow the teachers of Noble Drew Ali, that's great. It's prophets of our brothers and sisters. That's before then. It's a lot that we do. It's in there, babe. The Spirit of the Menachuk, the Spirit of the Magi. One of them. That's what I tell Moors. When Moors we talk about they following something, I say, we are the adepts. We are the teachings. You must follow this. That's why I don't understand what people be talking about. So, adapt chamber means a very proficient person, skilled. Chamber means edifice, a place of worship. I hope y'all follow me. So how does a Muslim become adept? By being a diligent student of the Islamic precepts. What title do Moorish Americans know as adepts? I have to be clear with things. It's right up in there. It's probably like in the bottom part, or I think it's on the other side. You hear me? I think it's in the other side over there with them books over there. Watch this. What title do Moorish Americans know as adapts? Sheiks and sheikesses. Listen to me, and I hope you all follow what I'm saying, because when a person try to put things in a box, listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth, because you can take things out of context, and in a court of law, there's no excuse of not knowing the law. You must be absolute.
We don't see it.
It's there, honey. Look in the other one over there. I'm telling you, it's there. Say Spirit of the Menachuk, the Magi. Hold on, y'all. What's up, Aaron? Bet. Appreciate you, sister. Bet. Have a good one. Yeah, you too. It's say the Spirit of the Magi. You can't miss it. You can't miss it. It's probably been the other one. I'm sorry, yo. What you say? I'm opening up mentally and spiritually, right? Like to learn scriptures when the Israelites teaching, but even though through your guidance and teachings, I understand our perspective and openly accept. Noble, this is the thing. And we're going to have to talk another time. When you say I'm opening up mentally and spiritually, right? I like to learn scriptures when the Israelites teachings. See, this is the thing. Israelites teachings with an understanding. See, this is the thing, Noble. This is the thing you must, when I tell us, we got to get out our lower self. You must get into universal teachings. You must get into universal teachings. The United of Asia. When I talk about the 18th dynasty, the Israelite and the Moorish culture, it's nothing different. That's why I'm saying the Israelite is the Moor. Your Israelite is not a nationality. You must we got to get to the synchronized things. That's why we so separated, because we let religion and we let somebody connotative explanation separate us. It's one nationality, many cultures. No one would dish your culture. That's what I keep telling us. We let religion separate us. And this is not religion. More science is synchronizing. I just said the triple role of the adapt chamber. And then when I ask Moors, they talk about the Israelite teaching. I say, you don't even have, I said, when the Moors talk about the Israelite teachings, and I say, well, okay, well, let's talk about the Israelite teachings. And Moors say they follow the Israelite faith, and they don't even have the Nazarene text. I say, how can you follow the Israelite teaching and you don't have the Nazarene text? How can a person say they follow the Israelite teachings and they don't have the Israelite scriptures or the Hebrew text or the Old Testament Apocrypha, the New Testament Apocrypha, the Nag Hammadiah, the book of Yasher? None of the books. We have none of the books that we could correct it. When people just be arguing, saying who somebody else is, the first thing a person needs to do is read all their books. And then you can understand, and then you can move that anger that a lot of those Israelites, brother, have by trying to explain some religious stuff. And they're the ones talking about since they left the ruling of the Gentiles. It ain't got nothing to do with you. If you read the text and you remove your anger, when I break down the Old Testament Apocrypha, the New Testament Apocrypha, when I break down the book of Maccabees, the heathen is telling you what it's about. See, Noble, when I talk about here, the miniature hotel, the spirit of the Magi, it's a lot that we don't even understand, man. It's a lot of people that use religious things to kind of separate you. But this is the United of Asia, man. I don't have time to play no religious games with no one. I don't have time to play no religious games with no one. This is the United of Asia. We got to understand this. What did I be showing y'all in Wentworth Matthew book when I showed y'all the chosen people? When I said the turbans were used in the churches to signify the mystical East. The mystical East. Come on, man. We gotta synchronize this science. Just wearing some clothing to talk about you a Hebrew Israelite don't mean nothing if you operate in religious dogma. Without a title, do Moorish Americans know as adepts, sheiks and sheikesses? But remember, all adepts are not sheiks or sheikes. So what that mean? Do anybody even know what that mean? Can anybody answer that? What I just said, y'all, in the crowd? Anybody want to take a stab at that? ISIS?
What? All adepts are not sheiks?
Listen to this, y'all. What title do Moorish Americans know as adepts? I said the male sheik, the empress sheikesses. But remember, all adepts are not sheiks or sheikesses. So what that mean?
That they're not all teachers.
So,
or leaders of a temple. Or what?
Or they're not so-called Moorish Americans per se. Because it's what? It's the science that makes you an adept, not your color, right? So therefore, when we're talking about science, when we're talking about degrees, when I said I can take a European Mason and that understand the degrees that have been through the shrine, that's an adept, and put them in front of a Moor that just wear the fez, that know no science, and then make him tuck his tail in his ass. Excuse my candor. Because of the science, because of the wisdom. That's what I'm telling you. That's why I told you, if they're sons of Muslims, what that means? They study you to a T. If somebody the son, somebody the daddy, if a certain individuals wear the fez in clandestine and it's political and religious and they got and the fez got Allah, Islam, Mecca, and the tassel is pinned down so it can't flow 360 degrees, what's that's telling you? Anybody that got somebody over them, you are a slave. Watch this. Watch this. Here go Israelite religion. No disrespect to nobody. Do you believe in Jesus? Do you believe in this? So what? You got somebody over you. That's slave mentality. Let's deal with Islam. You got Allah. You got this Muhammad over you. That's slave mentality. In Moorish science, God and man is one. That ain't no slave mentality. European masonry. You got some poobah. All religion. I don't give a damn. Black, white, orange. Okay. You want to say all the prophets black and you got some God over you? You still under some slave religion. So how can you say you study in Moorish science? And in Moorish science, God and man is one. You talk about, well, oh my God, you ain't no different. Okay, your God, white, black, orange, purple, green. You still praying to something outside yourself. Miss me with that. That's slave science. That's still slave science. Please, man. So, other names for adepts are initiate, student, adept, master adept, master, a sage, master sage, prophet, or Allah. Why Allah? Because in Moorish science, God and man is one. Arm, leg, arm, head. That's why. Also, it's 7 degrees of the ancient Egyptian mystery system. And the 7 represents totality of the divine creation. And the ancient ones, what we've done is develop curriculum for the 7 degrees from complete circle of creation. And it was 7 days in the circle, which totals everything made each day. And it marked the completion of the ethereal life forms from the alpha to the omega, from the beginning to the end, or vice versa. Therefore, there are only 7 days in a year. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 7 creation spirits within the 7 ethereal planes. 7 infinite thoughts of Allah, which created everything that ever was, is, or evermore to be. The ancient Hebrews called these thoughts Elohim. The Adepts called these the 7 eyes of Allah. And man called these ethers planes of protoplasm, earth, plant, beast, man, angel, cherubim. I hope y'all following this synchronicity. There are 7 chakras. It's sealed within the human body. How do you activate it? Here go that European, how can I call it, alchemy. When you think you got to go outside of yourself. No. If you are the alchemy and if you are the source, all you must do is activate it. But you must know how to activate your kundalini and get it out or not. You must understand how to activate that spirit molecule that's in the brain. You see? Because we dealing with this physical and the spiritual. If you think you're dealing with this physical, you already lost. You already lost. Because when you missing the difference from birth and death. You understand, remembering things are reversed. So you thinking death, when the flesh gone, you dying. And you thinking when birth, you're not understanding the two. You're not understanding the two meanings. I want to die so I can live freely. You're not even understanding the science of what I'm saying. Death for the lower self, to where you operate in your higher self. You ain't listening to me. You getting caught up with some catchphrases, thinking the science about somebody else, about they really kill each other in there. Look, they sacrificing. Man, gone. You're not an elite. You taking all that analogies and parables out of context. Seriously. So, these chakras are fixed from the base of the spinal, upright through your heart of mind. Get Star of David out your head and get into that's your heart chakra. Get religious stuff out of your head and deal with science. Get the Star of David out, the religious symbol, and get science in you. Get that's above and below. That's the male, the woman coming together. Then you put the Ankh in the middle. That's creating life. That's the true Trinity. Man and woman creating life. That's the true when we talk about birth, immaculate conception. Man, woman having a child, immaculate conception. Don't let nobody fool you with that garbage. Yahshua said man couldn't resurrect until the fixed is solved. And the ancient siddhas, the gurus, call this astrology of light, or that vessel of light. And each of us must be lightened with wisdom or illuminated. We must be illuminated. We must go into our higher self, Moors. Come on, man. What is this all about? The 7 degrees of the ancient Egyptian mystery systems. The 7 sounds on the master scale. All the audibles heard by your ears of man and women are the what? Summation of these sounds, Moors. The 7 colors in the spectrum, right? These constitute everything seen by what? Your eye. And without these colors, Moors, the human sentinels are what? Useless. Right? You got to understand the XO and the SO. You got to understand the analogy, the parable, and symbology, or you will get caught in something taking it literal. That's why I explain to Moors. If you don't understand the SO, the XO, the analogy, the parable, and the symbology, and the linguistics, and the different dispensations, you are lost in mistranslation, because you cannot translate Hebrew into English, because it can mean 10 different things depending on the context. So if you're not going to be willing to do the linguistics and to use your lexicons, you're being a disservice not only to yourself, but to the people. Because you're not willing to do the work. You can't cheat through this. 7 senses for the conscious man. 5 below, where? Your eyebrow. What's 5 below your eyebrow? Sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch. That's like when I be doing my Wing Chun and I feel across your eyebrow and I say, you going back right here. You see that temple, and then I go right back across to your head. Those pressure points. Mess me with you want to, I'll knock you out. But do you understand what I'm saying about the body? You must understand the body so much to where you must be able to defend yourself. Because trying to defend, just imagine you giving righteousness to a fool that's trying to knock you out. And you've been trying to say, peace, peace, brother. Peace, peace, brother. Peace, peace, brother. He ain't trying to hear that peace. You better know how to defend yourself. I'm telling you, man. We don't start nothing, but we defend ourselves. Because we are what? Adepts. But 5 below the eyes or the eyebrows are the sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch. And then it's 2 above the eyebrow. That's your intuition and your so-called psychic power. The 7 degrees in the Adept chamber of the Moorish Science Temple of America, or the 3rd heaven. These are degrees of the high consciousness. When our Prophet Noble Drew Ali talk about the 3rd heavens, this science is identical to the ancient Egyptian mystery system developed by the first African gods to be formed in the flesh, Moors. And this origin is held by the old Hebrews as the story of Adam and Eve. You see how I synchronize things when I said don't get caught up in the analogy and the parable. Synchronize it. Our prophet and myself, we brought these degrees of God attainment. God and man is one, operating your higher self. We brought this God attainment in what? The missing 18 years of Yahshua's life. That's in the beginning of your scriptures. Took out by who? A lot of the sages from Tibet, right in front of your Moorish Quran, which Moors don't believe, which Moors don't read, omitted from your Bible. It says right in the front. But then you say you following the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. Stop lying. You ain't even read the Quran. You don't even got it. The lessons are found in his life works and his teachings of Yahshua. The 1st degree is sincerity. The 2nd degree is justice. The 3rd degree is faith. The 4th degree is philanthropy. The 5th degree is heroism. When I say you can't be no scary Moor, you talk about you following the pillars and you a scary Moor. Heroism. 6th degree, love divine. 7th degree, the ministry of the dead. The divine ministry, Moors. Prophethood, all things created and governed by Allah, the one. It derived by the 3, which is the wisdom, will, and love. Directed by the holy breath of the 5 principles of action, which are love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. And they all rest upon the 7 Moors. When man is fully conscious of himself or herself, then he and she and his creator or her creator are what? One. That's why the definition of man now brings us from 1 through the what? If man brings us from the 1, what does it bring us to? The 3, the 5, the 7, to the 9. Oh, man, I get chills when I talk about this, man. The 9 is re-entry. Just like this fast, what is this fast? 9 to the 9 to the 9th power. This fast represents the birth cycle of our empresses, from this tassel to this mundane ball, to the strings, to the 4 holes, to the umbilical cord, to the navel. Y'all better talk to me. The white fast with the gold tassel represents my empresses. Mayat, the eastern stars. That's you. But the 9 is re-entry. 9 is the truant. Times 3, according to ancient science. The 9 is the symbolic of re-entry, Moors. So 9 is the conscious rebirth of the God-man or the God-woman. When the God-man or when the God-woman of truth attains unto himself or herself, and all, Allah and man and woman becomes one. One. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So the 9 is the last whole number before new life everlasting. Watch this. 9 is man leaving the perpetual realms of why to enter his natural state, which is divine infinity. And this numerically marks man's or woman's final use for the illusions of time, space, and calculations. So the 9 being truant times 3 is further illustrated by the 3 stages, the X's, 3 degrees of the perfection of man, of woman, and the adapt, defecation of man. When I say Allah, Allah equals wisdom plus will plus love. When I talk about the prophet, that's the initiation, illumination, and then perfection. And when I talk about man, that's belief, faith, and fruition. Fruition. Man, y'all got to be feeling this science, man. Oh, man, part 2 going to be amazing. We ain't even got into it yet, man. That's why when I talk about Article 1 of the Zodiac Constitution, when I always show and prove, man. Don't let nobody get you caught up in fake numbers telling you what stuff mean. I say everything can be looked up in the Library of Congress. Stop letting people get you caught up in catchphrases, thinking you finna buy something and that's going to do something. So, the Zodiac Constitution, CM Bay, the AA 22214, Library of Congress, Washington, D.C., Article 1. Let's dig. The 12 signs of the Zodiac, the code of mathematics, scaling from 0 to 9, and the science of geometry, which is the G. It compromised the constitution of living the Moorish Moorish nation of North America, referred to as Negroes, who ruled the worlds and the 7 seas by 12 signs of the Zodiac, and the science of geometry for 1196 years. To the Amazon, the Dutch German Catholic priesthood fathers of the Revolution of 1789. And the Sisterhood, Magna Carta, Emancipation Proclamation, Union Society, no disrespect when I speak. You can research everything I'm saying. The white supremacy in 1863, North America. So the 12 jurymen of the 50 Union State Societies, and also the non-judges of the Supreme Courts, were founded upon the Moorish nation's 12 signs of the Zodiac Constitution, and mathematics scaling from 0 to 9. And without the Moorish Constitution, the Magna Carta Emancipation Proclamation, and the Union Society of the myth of the white supremacy definitely could have been founded in 1863, Moors. So when we talk about the Zodiac Constitution birthrights, watch this. The 9 judges of white supremacy were founded our Moorish Zodiac 12 signs, the mathematical constitution, the lawmakers, and all that, right? So watch this, because I want to give you some stuff. I want to go around it because I gave it to y'all already. But let me get to the immortal marriage license code against the Zodiac law of nature. Truth cannot be altered, therefore needs no apology nor doctrine, because it is supreme mental doctor itself for the entire human family, men and women. Thus the truth is the sisterhood, Christian daughters of the American Revolution, which is the DAR, established the marriage license states right code to prevent Moorish men and women from marrying into their Magna Carta society of white supremacy. Did you ever think to stop for a minute that women and men are already married by the supreme law of nature, and that a marriage license is an act of a violation of the law of nature? And the law of, and the nature law union between women and men spells love and the reproduction of a child, in which a marriage license plays no part in, Morris. If we're just going to deal with science, because we're dealing with science here, we ain't dealing with religion. So you got to understand there cannot be any illegitimate children, offsprings from women and men, because women is supreme gate of creation of both male and female children by law of nature, which spells Islam, or I self law and master, the carpenter and the grand architect of human family. That's why Adam means the positive forces in women and sons responsible for evolution or the reproduction of children by the law of nature. The Pope, priest, preacher, judges of the Christian society definitely cannot prove that their Adam and Eve had a marriage license. Did you ever stop to think that marriage license code is an act of selling women and men back to themselves? Think about it. The Union Magna Carta marriage license code, unfortunately and unconsciously, caused the white women to be cut off from the human family, which is the Moorish nation. I hope that's why I said don't get your religious feeling into it. Deal with science, because when you deal with science, it liberates you. In other words, Moors, the white women are supreme social slaves against their will and desire. And this has caused them to carry in their mind and heart a secret sorrow and anger, which causes their children to inherit a tendency of crime, hatred, insanity, and various other diseases. If we talk about science. So supreme standard of the Zodiac marriage law. I'm going to give y'all elements of the signs of the Zodiac and women and men's opposite signs involving the first marriage of the Zodiac law of nature. That's why when I tell my Moorish brothers and sisters, before you start dealing with relationships, you better know your astrological signs so you can know how you operate, and you better know how somebody else's astrological signs operate so you know how to deal with it. Because ain't nobody got to act how you want them to act. You got to understand their signs, and then you must master it. So then y'all come together as one. Y'all ain't listening to me. But no preacher and money and license and neither religion is necessary in the standard of the Zodiac marriage law. In harmony with nature, watch this. Aries is fire and Libra is air. Taurus is earth and Scorpio is water. Gemini is air and Sagittarius is fire. Cancer is water, and and Capricorn is earth. Leo is fire, and Aquarius is air. Virgo is earth, and Pisces is water. That's why the 1863 Union Bible story of Eve and Adam were founded upon the Moorish zodiac, the 12 signs of law, the negative and the positive forces of nature, male and female. Right? Right? In harmony with nature. Aries is fire and Gemini is air. Maybe you out of line with the astrological signs of you and your mate. Maybe you out of pocket because we just jumped into a relationship based off looks. And we're not understanding our mate. And you want to get rid of your 80 for a 20. And you don't understand the 80 to make it 100. This is 100 and 100. You don't go on and talk about, we 50-50. 50-50, where else are the 50 going? How you going to some 50-50? You got another 50 you giving away? This 100 and 100. No damn 50-50. Oh, we 50-50. What you mean 50-50? I'm all in. I don't have no plan B.
100.
My plan B is my plan A. I make this shit work. Excuse my candor. Right. Persons born under the opposite signs and the angle signs are in harmony with one another in every manner. Thus, first-hand knowledge of the signs under which you and your mate were born will guide you and your destiny in peace. Let me tell y'all something. Don't y'all know when you ever heard the analogy, hey Sean, you ever heard the analogy, 2 heads are better than 1?
Yes.
So when a mate giving 100 and 100 and y'all got an ultimate goal, oh man, there's Allah. When both of y'all giving 100 and 100, 2 hairs are better than 1. Are you listening to me?
Yeah.
Persons born under the opposite signs and the angle signs are in harmony with one another in every manner. Thus, first-hand knowledge of their signs under which you and your mate were born will guide your destiny in peace, progress, and happiness forever. That's why I remind all us Moors that this is not a theory. That's why the Zodiac is absolute universal standard of marriage and human guidance. Women and men would know their duty toward one another and their children without being forced by the traditional code of the courtroom. The one and only universal moral law of unity, peace, and economic social progress. The Moorish Zodiac Constitution is the only universal unchanged moral law for the human family, for unity, human equality, respect, peace, and economic and social progress Moors. Therefore, every Moor, the Bays and the L's, must be guided by this Constitution. That's why the book of Clock of Destiny, where Moors be posting, I got the Clock of Destiny, but I know you ain't living it. You might got it, but you don't understand it. Oh, I got that. But you ain't understanding, you ain't living it, you ain't teaching it to your empress, you ain't teaching it to your young nobles, but you got something. You do that which is right by reason and have respect for white lawmakers and citizens of the Magna Carta Society of the 50 states. You don't have to be scared of nobody, but you will respect all. That's the analogy of the lion and the lamb waking up in the morning and neither will be harmed. You got to understand that. You got to understand this science. You have to understand this science, man. That's why when European people of the Union are guided by their Magna Carta traditions and customs, and the Moors are guided by the Zodiac Constitution law, you know? Nevertheless, their customs and traditions, including themselves, must be respected by us Moors without submitting to themselves, to any of their Magna Carta customs. We don't have to submit to nobody's customs, but we respect theirs. If they got a God, let them have their God. If they got customs, let them have their customs. We got our own customs. Their custom is termed by the Christian law, a rule of action recorded on paper and supported by authority and force. And the zodiac law of nature is recorded in the wisdom of the men and women and supported by the moral intelligence, the greatest law of all. That's why knowledge of the zodiac and masonry, as shown in the Moorish Constitution and also in the Clock of Destiny, Volume 1 and 2, it prevents a Moorish American, male or female, from indulging in crime. Because we don't deal with no crime. Don't get it twisted. We ain't no Moorish criminals or no Moorish hustlers. Get that crap out your head. Or some Moorish pimps. This ain't what this about. We ain't no criminals. But they would not have to appear in the courtroom to stand trial. Why all Moors talk about, I was in court, I had to go show them who we are? Only criminals go to court. If you operate under law, why are you in court? Why are you always in court? Only criminals in court being accused of stuff. I ain't no damn criminal. Can't nobody accuse me of nothing. And if anybody accuses me of something, I'm going to defend myself. So why you always, oh, we in court, we proved it to these white. What you going there? A beggar nation can't say, what you going to ask? What you finna go ask? What you finna go beg somebody? I wait. You finna go beg somebody to tell them who you are. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. You playing. And you know it. The Zodiac law of nature is recorded in wisdom. Thank you for the donation, Noble. But the Zodiac code of law is in wisdom. We don't have to go to court. If we understand that a Moorish American who has this Constitution, if we understand this Constitution, what's written in the Library of Congress, which everybody had before me and you, it's old time stuff. We just don't buy stuff. What's the old Chinese phrase, Ma? What's the old Chinese phrase, Ma? Inez.
What?
What's the old phrase about just collecting books?
Oh, I don't.
I forget it. But that's what we do, man. Not all of us. We would not have to appear in courtroom to stand trial if we operating right. Why should we have to appear in court and stand trial if we know the law? Should a Moorish American who has this Constitution, Book 1 and 2, indulge in a crime such as narcotics, robbery, forgery, prostitution, illegal whiskey or alcohol, illegal schemes or scams, gambling, breaking the peace, violence, and disrespect of the law of the city, state, or federal, then they have incriminated themselves and therefore will be penalized. Thank you for the donation, Noble. You see, you will be penalized. You will be penalized. That's right. This Constitution, a card and book definitely does not protect criminals. I'm telling you. The Negro is property of the Union slaveholders. That's why when I tell somebody, Black History Month, well, man, if pertaining to the laws, the 13th and the 14th and the 15th and Amendment, and according to the Dred Scott Law, and then person, place, and thing, Negro, blacks, and color were slaves for life. That's what the Sundry Moore Act was. Why would you identify as a slave for life? Why? According to black and science and law, black mean dead. So put dead in front of everything you put. Dead love, dead relationship, dead science, and you're going to go around and call stuff black. The Moors must respect the court by saying, listen, I affirm, listen to me. Here, the court has no jurisdiction over them, which automatically makes them qualified to defend themselves by their Zodiac Constitution law and their mathematical number 9. The number 9 corresponds with the letter I, based on the 9 months from conception to birth. When Moors talk about just go stand on your square in court. How do you stand on your square in court? Standing on your square in court ain't just with your freaking feet out, looking like Darkwing Duck. Standing on your square is understanding the laws. Because in the court of law, there's no excuse of not knowing the law in the court of law. You're going to go in there with your feet wide open and put your hand on your head, talk about, I'm in here standing on my square. And they're going to lock your square ass up. Point blank. Because you in there playing. Because you in there playing. I'm telling you. Because you in there playing. That's not no play, man. The court arena is not no play for you to be in there playing with no fake law. That you done went on the internet, some goofball done gave you. You going to jail. And you will be detained. And they'll stump on your fez if you don't know the laws. I done seen it. I done laughed at them more. They like, why he got his fez on? And ooh, man. Hey, I set the precedent. I set the precedent. I set the precedent. I know the law. I wear my fez in the courtroom and at work. You better know the law and better defend it and better not be afraid of it, or they'll make you take your fez off and you're scary better take it off and put it in your back pocket. Because I seen Moors do it. Because they not sure of who they are. They think this just some damn baseball cap. This ain't no baseball cap. That's why Moors don't wear it. Because they're afraid. And when a European asks them about it, they can't defend it. You take your fez off with somebody coming. You tuck it in your pocket. But if you was a Crip or you was a damn gangbanger killing your brothers, you'll wear your flag with proud. You'll wear your blue chucks and your red chucks with proud. You'll be Crip walking all on the goddamn internet. Talking about some Crip walk sitting at abandoned houses. But you won't wear your fez. Man, miss me with that garbage. The Moors must respect the courts by saying, I affirm. Here, the courts have no jurisdiction over them, which automatically makes them qualified to defend themselves by the Zodiac Constitution. Because if you operate in your right mind, if you know the law, the precedent and case law, you can defend yourself in a court of law. I hope you know this. By the Zodiac Constitution law and their mathematical number 9. The number 9 corresponds with the letter I, based on the 9 months from conception to birth, which makes you yourself the great I am. When I say Aya, Asha, Aya, I will be what I will to be. The first and the highest law of self-protection and self-preservation in harmony with the Zodiac 12 signs. Unchanged constitution, moral law of the 360 degrees, squared by your number 9. Y'all better talk to me. The Moorish Zodiac Constitution is referred to in Christian mythology as the Holy Quran, or the Al-Quran, meaning the earth, the moon, and the sun, and the 7 planets of chronology, the zodiac record of the Moorish nation of the North Gate, North America. The name Muhammad, prophet, religion, God, church, temple, and mosque were established by the Dutch Anglo-Saxon priesthood, the Franciscan father of North, who overthrew the Moorish society of Islam between 1789 and the Union of 1863. I'm telling y'all, when people get you with that mystic stuff and all that, man, I don't deal with that. I'm a scientist. I'm an adept. I know about it, but I got to take you higher. The Moors and Beys and elves must never attempt to teach or lecture to Christians that don't understand it. You got to let them be, you know? Let people be. They don't have to accept it. This is a gift. This is a gift. Ooh, look at that fire, boy. Smoke coming off my forehead. Part 2, y'all log on with part 2 finna be all firecrackers. Cash App $ KG Bay for donations. Forget the Super Bowl. This the Super Bowl. Send donations and I'll send you literature. I done written over 20 books. All Moors should have all my books. The Divine Creed of Moorish Islam, Sufism, and the Triple Roll of the Adapt Chamber. So you won't be confused with nobody telling you I got all the science. You should want it all. Log back on. Part 2, getting ready to be amazing. Get your pencils and your papers. Islam.